Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 5v5 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 here in the northwest section of the map, ending with Team 2 in the southeast section of the map. Starting off with the southernmost player of Team 1, already some taunting and rizzing going on in chat between our players, starting off with the Chevy Crimson player of Desert Wolf 216 going first land as a UEF. Then again, he is a 1400 going UEF. In the middle for Team 1, we have the Snow White player of BRSD CCC97 going first land as a Cybran. He is a 2000 rated player and the highest rated player on Team 1 and in the game overall. Continuing northward in Batman Gray, we have the player of Melon Wise going first land as a Seraphim. So far, no repeat factions as of yet. Again, he's going first land in Batman Gray, and he is a 1500. The last player on the front line for Team 1, we have the Rust color player of Kalink going first land as a Seraphim. We now have a repeat faction on the front lines here. He is a 1000 rated player going first land, probably second air due to that configuration of the P-Gens. And again, he is a 1000 rated player. And last but not least, for Team 1 in the rear guard air slot for his team, we have the player of Alfie123 going first land in Barbie Pink. He is a Seraphim, and he is a 1500 rated player. So for Team 1 side of things, we have 3 Seraphim located on the northern section of the map with a Cybran in the middle and a UEF in the south. They have no Aeon faction to speak of. In the east, northern east here for, middle east for Team 2, we have the orange player Boxeroo, going first land, second land as well, actually second air. He is the first Aeon player of the game, and he is a 1700 not tied, but the second highest rated player on Team 2. To the southwest, we have the lightish red player of Synth going first land. Second air? No, it's just first land as of the moment. Probably second, third, fourth land because he is in that middle slot. Again, he is a 1000 rated player. He is UEF, and he is the player Synth. To his west, we have the player Psycho Ad going first land, second land, probably third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh land. He is in Ruby Red. He is a Cybran, and he is the highest rated player on Team 2 at an 1800. Last player on the front lines here for Team 2, we have the lightish red, not lightish red, but the light oak tan player of Stake. He is going first land as a Seraphim. And again, he is a 1200 rated player. Probably will go second air, it's going second, third land. Apologies for that. And last but not least, for Team 2 in the rear, we have the royal purple player of Omnihaven going first land, second air as a UEF, a man after my own heart. He is a 1500 rated player, and again, he is a UEF. And look at the racial makeup disparity, whatever the heck we want to call it. We have 2 UEF players, and then 1 of each of the other factions. So 1 Aeon Seraphim and Cybran. Aeon Seraphim Cybran, there we go. And so that means Team 2 is the only one that has access to Aeon technology in this game. Let's take a look at Reclaim before our players scoop it all up. 51,000 Reclaim. Probably about 52.5, maybe even 53, given the fact we are at almost 4 minutes in this game. And that's over 5,000 reclaim per person if distributed evenly. So that is a heck of a lot of reclaim for our players to scoop up. We already have scouting parties here for both teams. Looks like Team 2 a little bit more aggressive with their scouting for some Mech Marines players and some other Mech Marines in the middle. And in terms of match point layouts, we have, a decent amount for our players to scoop up. We have, quad, triple, quad. I think this is a quad, and then there's another quad down here. So essentially, a nice expansion that Team 1 and Team 2 have access to. There's a couple of mixes that I think will be a little bit hard to hold on to, mainly probably at least these 2 in the middle, with, of course, the ones on the west and the east kind of in that same vein. And then maybe these 2 groups of Mexes, maybe even these up here. But I feel like everything else is pretty much safely in the hands of their respective teams. We do have a group of Mexes here on this lower section, which will be even harder to hold due to the fact that artillery can just sit here and shoot stuff, or even just strikers or tanks or you know, whatever the case may be, can shoot at that very easily. So those mechs will be hard to hold unless you encompass the entire, you know, sunken section of the land. Kind of looks like a wolf head, with like there's the ears and there's the eyes and there's the mouth, kind of their snout kind of thing. Anyway, let's take a look at what's going on here on the front lines. Damage and range going on for the player for Desert Wolf. That's the first upgrade, I think, of this game. We see more expansions all the time. We do see the comm of Melonwise going for the middle of the map, and I think every frontline player for Team 1 has pushed forward. Team 2, everyone except the player of Synth has pushed forward. Well, I guess he's right here, so he's, you know, kind of hiding with his mechs there. But really, he's not pushed as far up as he probably should be. He probably should either go for this position or this position, but I feel like his units has this, so maybe go for this. We do see more of an effort from Melonwise to grab this. He notices there's really not a lot of fight going after this from Team 2, so he's going to push it while he has the advantage. A couple of units kind of circling up here to the north. There is, of course, another group of mechs up here that can be grabbed, but that's kind of out of the way. Not really that much under threat, but it does look like Team 2's player of Boxeroo tried to get some sort of early harassment, but didn't really get anywhere with that for him. Pink says Boxeroo. Oh, probably talking about Synth in the middle, wanting to go for this position. It does look like Synth is pushing up the middle here. The player of BRS needs some sort of assistance, maybe at least from the player of Melonwise to at least send some units. Not a whole lot, but just a couple, you know, every now and then to help assist. Some of them are some mech marines, some of them are strikers, there's lobos. So it's not all tanks, so it's not that bad, but it can get worse. We did see gum damage and range going down here for Sapir. Sapir's not in this game. I think he's a observer in this game. Very interesting. I don't think I've casted a game with wait, but why is it what? Someone changed his name. What's going on with that? He keeps saying, oh, there's just notifications going on for him, I guess. We have gun speed and range going down here for Stake in the south. So a gun versus gun. Seraphim versus UEF. The UEF player of Desert Wolf has tried to grab this position down south. It will be a little bit hard to hold, as I mentioned earlier, but if he can surround this position, it'll be nice set of mexes for him to hold on to as this game progresses. And in terms of mass, very minimal. We're at, you know, the 200 stages at this point. At 8 minutes, we have, you know, Team 1 leading by about a little bit, so not a huge issue. We are seeing a nice push out here from Melonwise into this combined position here for Boxeroo and Synth. Synth has pushed up with his commander to help assist. We see, I think Boxeroo is up at his frontline position. He won't leave that position for now. Looks like there may be some sort of, you know, hook maneuver going on here for Team 1's player of Kalink, but I'm going to have to check on that in a minute. Of course, the units here for Melonwise are retreating at the current moment, but he is holding this position. That should be in Team 2's hands, so they are denying some mexes here for Team 2, as well as this position here for BRS. He has pushed back against Synth, and he's going to start to do another kind of hook maneuver and go after maybe the come of Psychoat. He does have gun, so he's not completely out of this yet. You know, not completely caught by surprise. He has some sort of defense. There are units coming in for Synth to assist, of course, but they are a little ways out. And units coming in here for BRS. Going to start roaming the map and taking out anything in their path. My move would be go straight for the base, take out what you can, try to avoid PD, take out, as you know, maybe a P-Gen, take out Mexes. Probably Mexes would be the better thing. We do see a PD has been established by Psycho Ad for his base. So the player BRS needs to shift his units just a little bit, which he does, just as I say it, to avoid the PD, and then again go kind of in a hook maneuver, but more PDs being built as we speak. That maneuver will not last very long. The units from Sith have been, not Sith, but Synth, this isn't Star Wars, have been pulled from this eastern position here, and this has given Team 1's player Melonwise some time to build up some forces, get T2 at least started. He wants to hold this position as long as he can. That's another 4 mexes under his control that he really, really wants to keep. We see that large army down south starting to form for both teams as players. We do see kind of an interesting play here. We see some Lobos using the height advantage, or the depression to their advantage, by hiding their units, his units, underneath the edge of the map, making it very difficult without artillery to fire those. And there goes the overcharge shot completely hooks around Steak, completely missing. It's a very interesting play, or very interesting trajectory of that shot. Does look like with that nano and gun upgrade, Desert Wolf is pretty emboldened to push forward. Steak will have to retreat. He has T2. It is, again, very interesting that Sapir is, like, essentially, I don't know if it's, like, repeating on purpose. I don't know what's going on with why the Overseer, Observer, not Overseer, is repeating the upgrade chain. Kind of weird. Anyway, do you see units fall back here for the player of BRS in the middle? I keep saying player of. I was commenting on this today. Well, today, this will be released on Friday, but I keep saying player of instead of player. It is a habit that I have didn't notice until someone pointed it out, and it is a little weird that I say player of this instead of just player. So I'm going to start to try to curtail that as much as I can, but it will take a while, so be patient with me as I fix the player of to just player. So we have the player, Desert Wolf, is fighting off Steak here. Steak starting to be kind of outnumbered here. Of course, we have Desert Wolf is doing a great job of holding off those units. Essentially, it's going to be a trade down south and just come down to how many hit points are left on each commander. More and more units just funneling to this this central position here for the player of Synth. I said it again, for the player Synth. We do see Gun and T2 on Team 1 and Team 2's comms respectively. The one going for defense, one going for attack. This will probably benefit Team 2's player, Boxeroo, because defending is usually, as long as you get some PD up, it's better in terms of against T1. When we get to T3, you want to be the one attacking, unless there's just so many defenses. So in this scenario, we have Boxeroo will probably get the better end of that deal for now, especially when he's being distracting with some blazes here on the water, which there is a pond on this map, so those that don't like water, apologies, there is still some water on this map. And of course, if you haven't voted in the poll to see what video you want me to have for the milestone 750 sub cast, please go vote. I'll have a link down in the description to send you over to the community post where that is located. If you haven't already, for those who have voted, thank you, and encourage everyone else around you to do so. I want to hear your opinion, and the more votes the poll gets, the more better understanding I get of what all of you want the cast to be, or just the video in general. We have Desert Wolf still pushing Steak. Steak is building some Utashalas for defense. They're very good against T1 units, some T2 units, but mainly just T1. That's how most T2 PD is. It's designed to take out, of course, T1 units. There's some that are better than others, Cerberus being one of those that, isn't good for really anything. Yeah, against T1 isn't bad, but choose literally anything else. Oblivion's really nice against heavier, like Obsidians, for example. They just fire. They have just a high damage per shot versus, let's say the Triad. Triad fires, I think, twice as fast, but doesn't do as much damage, of course, because it fires twice as fast. With the Shalas are very good for direct fire weapons. They don't worry about arching. They just need can you see the target? Yes. Is it clear? Like line of sight? Yes. K-fire. That's about it. But it does look like Steak is still trying to push that southern side more and more. Units actually coming in from BRS to help support. Maybe this will assist with Team 1 pushing Steak back, at least to his main base, or at least his, facility down south. But we'll have to check on that as time goes on. We even see the player and units coming in from Psycho Ad to help assist as well. So it's now going to be a 2v2 scenario. Both players in the middle just avoiding combat, being like, nah, I'm not going to worry about it. We'll deal with it later. Units coming in from Mellowise having a nice, momentum going on from his position, but it does look like they're being intercepted by two players. He will have to retreat, but he's using this opportunity to essentially PD creep on this eastern side against Boxeroo. I think he wants to cut off Boxeroo from the rest of his team and be able to isolate him for his teammate of Kalink to take out. We do see Boxeroo overwhelming his incoming enemies with forces and PD. And of course, this will position him quite nicely. There's really nothing to defend this upper side, so it gives Team 2's player Boxeroo the ability to just keep pushing forward and just keep marching down the line. Which we see some defenses being built by both teams, but they're just more stationary. They're more just, hey, we have something here, don't try to attack me kind of thing. I do see a lonely little tank here that appeared earlier that was taken out here by Team 1's player, Klink. And those units are still pushing. We have T2 Ilshi's in the army here for Melon-wise, and he's still doing what he can to keep, I think, isolating. That's probably his goal, because we see the PD sitting on this eastern side of this little depression here versus on the southern side. So he really wants to just isolate Boxeroo, which, you know, is a nice strategy, because if you can't get reinforcements from your teammates, then you're kind of going to get surrounded and screwed at some point. We do see both teams just fighting here in the south. We have Psychoed and Steak able to push up, but Kalink is killed off by Boxeroo. But I did not see that coming. Boxeroo came out of the water and was surrounded. You have got to be the stupidest ANZ player, says Boxeroo. I think it just came to the fact that he stepped out of the water. There was an overwhelming force in defenses, and that was it. So now this game will fall to a 5v4 in favor of Team 2, the southern team. Currently, we have T3 on the cards for both teams. We've seen that at the current moment. It does look like Team 2's player, Omnihaven, does have a little bit of an advantage in the air for now, but, you know, that can be mitigated by just a couple of nice turns by either player at this point. We see some missile launchers here. I love this play here from Sith, using the range and the terrain to be able to hide those missile launchers and take out, you know, very auxiliary mechs, but, you know, 2 mechs per T1 mech, no, 2 mass per T1 mechs does take its toll after a while. So great move by Synth, using the environment to his advantage in this game. We're approaching almost 16.5 minutes. Again, one player has died, so that stat of somebody dying before 20 minutes will stay in effect here this game. Just add to the, you know, percentage. I wonder, somebody has to do a percentage of, like, take X-rated game, whether it be like 1,000, you know, 1,200, whatever the case may be. How many of those games have a player die before 20? And then of the games that don't have a player die at 20, how many of those games die before 30? And I feel like that number is, or that percentage is pretty high. Usually somebody dies before 20, and if not, it's more like, it's highly likely somebody dies before 30. So in the games that someone, you know, everyone survives till 50 minutes, is just amazing for me, because, you know, I'm at 150 plus casts now. You know, I see that most of the time, so I just congratulate players overall when they do reach, you know, 25, 30 minutes and no one has died, because they don't become a statistic. But we did see a drop from a Harbinger. I think he tried to come to the east, the northern east section here for Melon-wise, but looks like he was thwarted for the time being. But Boxeroo has used his advantage with the disappearance of Kalink to push on this northern side, eliminate some extra eco. And in terms of eco, certainly we make it a comment early on at, say, 7 minutes, it was 200 to 200. Now it is 700 to 600 for Team 1 and Team 2, respectively. So Team 2 needs to get the lead out and start pushing and taking out some mexes, which I love to see. Again, missile plays in the middle. We see heavy pushes here to the north. But the only thing this does is it isolates all of these forces in a very, you know, small area of the map, essentially allowing Team 1 to come in and eliminate them very easily. There are no defenses down here. So if Melon-wise wanted, he could have just sent these forces to this position, but decided to at least take out the units for now. Doesn't want to leave his base or anything else vulnerable for now. Does look like it's, again, just some jostling, just constant back and forth in the south between the players of BRS and Desert Wolf versus Steak and Psychoad. Psychoad is starting to retreat. It looks like, at least a little bit, just to stay in the area, but not completely out of the way, so he can come assist if needed. We see a group of units here for Psychoad. They are T3 Loyalists and Bricks, with supporting T1 forces from these pillars, sorry, from these strikers. I don't see any pillars in this mix, which at this stage I would like to see some pillars, kind of retrofit the army. You know, they have a lot more DPS and hit points. Obviously, they're more expensive to make, but, you know, you gotta have them. I do see some over here to the east, but, you know, at 18, 19 minutes, you gotta have more. You gotta have some at least some inklings of T3. Like once in a while, you know, spit one out. You know, because we are seeing them being proliferated here for both teams at this point. And those units in the middle of the map here for Psychoad going to cause some very, very annoying headaches here for Team 1. Going to keep pushing northward. We are seeing some base creeping, PD creeping by Team 2's Synth. You can see the PD defending this position. I love the T2 radar here. Even though it's not an Omni, it does provide a nice ring of vision. They can see everything on this eastern plateau here. They can see everything, at least a little bit to the west where we have the player BRS. So they can see a lot of stuff. Well, they see, okay, he's not there anymore. He's down here. Well, where'd he go? No, hold on. He's not there anymore. Oh, he's back in his base. He was there at some point. We are approaching that 20-minute mark here so far. Please like the video if you found it enjoyable. Comment down below. And, of course, hit that sub button if you haven't done so already. Let me know who do you think is going to currently win. Of course, we have this fight in the middle. Team 2 is leading by 1 player. But that might not mean anything, of course, because, you know, a move could take out 2 players and have a double kill. You just FAF is one of those games where you really can't tell until 1 or 2 decisive plays by either team to really say, okay, this team or that team's going to win. But this is just trading mass here between both of our teams here. It does look like BRS does have a little bit more T3 units than Psycho Ad, but he doesn't have any supporting units. He does have PD, though, and that'll be a huge boon. In this PD group, I love it. He's assisting the front line of Psycho Ad to be able to have a fallback point, and then he has a fallback point to his fallback point. So constantly has layered defenses. We even have just a couple of PD to prevent, or at least have some warning signs for some, you know, run-by opportunities or edging out opportunities, whatever the case may be. But of course, those ASFs here for Team 1's Alfie starting to just kind of roam the front line of the map. Again, those bricks are constantly pushing, and honestly, I get that he wanted to give him enough time for Synth to get a better handle on things for the base with this group of PD, but honestly, don't know if it was really worth it. That's a lot of bricks here, and so PD can do a lot, but you can see the hit points aren't falling as fast as Synth really wants to, and now those bricks are starting to come in range, and more PD is coming online. Striker's trying to do what they can to distract some of those shots, but it really isn't going to matter. If these bricks push, which they should, all these PD are gone, and he should be doing that right now. I think BRS might be distracted. There he goes. The order has been given to push forward. We have missiles firing at one another. We have sniper bots firing at Melon Wise's front line. He will have to fall back. He needs some artillery. That's really what he needs on this western side. Well, actually, western side of this conflict is some long-range weaponry, whether that be sniper bots or artillery. My mass should have spent on ecos. Oh, that is a very long name in the description down there. That is some TMD there. What's this one say? I lost my legs invading Mars. Some nice naming here from Mountain Wise. Having some fun with it, because of course at the end of the day, this is a game, and you just gotta have fun with it, because you just gotta have fun with it. That's really nothing else to say. In terms of ecos, Team 2 is now in the lead at 1.1k mass per second versus 1 even for Team 1. Team 2 starting to catch up in the total mass accrued. Still favors Team 1, but that number is slowly starting to collide with one another, being about the same. We see forces intermixing here for Synth, starting to push this front line of course, Million-wise. I have more DPS than a T3 Mechs. Well, I would hope so, because T3 Mechs don't fire. But the fire has engaged between these 3 armies. Not a battle of 5 armies, it's a battle of 3 armies. But of course, we see Ilshis in there. Love to see those. They would love to get in the rear and take out that sniper bot back there. There are some Harbingers leading the charge with some supporting units of Aurora and other things. But it does look like Known-wise will have to retreat. Those T2.5 units of those Ilshis doing a great job eliminating a lot of the spam here. Of course, they have to 10 with those Harbingers, of course. But, you know, even if they might be outnumbered, they're still doing a great job. There's 1 sniper bot back here, but 1 does not win wars. You need about 1,000 of them, of course, because 1,000 of anything can kill anything. That's just kind of the rule here on the channel. Granted, if you tried to send 1,000 things in a line, that's probably not going to work. But if you had just spawn 1,000 around a target, it would most likely win. We have a Monkey Lord for the front line here for Psycho Ad, and he's going to start pushing what was once that PD base here for Team 2's Synth. More bricks have been built up, but there is a Monkey Lord. They'll notice the Monkey Lord's long-range cannon, so that's kind of give it away there. Team 1, do they notice it? No, they don't. They don't see it exactly, but of course, if they're paying attention, they will see it. There are some air scouts. Yep, the radar signature has been noticed. If they're paying attention to either the mini-maps or the main map, they will see it. Quiet on the southern front between both players here in the south. If this decided to do base wars, artillery wars here in the south, never the huge lot of exciting things going on. It's really this middle section, the plateau section. There's a couple of fighting going on here in the east. You have bombers going in. You really don't have a whole lot of just engagement. There is a nice group of T3 units here for Melon-wise. He's going to lead with a sniper bot. You know, we do see some of these wall sections being established to mess with the pathing of these units, but they're going to try to target. I think they're targeting, yeah, they're targeting the wall sections themselves to prevent any of that nonsense. But we have that one sniper bot being shot by artillery, and it's not moving. A couple more shots and it will land and take it out. And there it goes. That, oh man, T1 Fervors take out a T3 sniper bot. That has got to hurt. Chicken says Alfie, GC 1/3. Do we have some pings going down in chat for Team 1 to let other players know there are some experimentals either done or under construction? But we have another Monkey Lord coming to assist the first one. And Team 1 is severely outnumbered and outgunned at the current moment. We have Brick supporting those Monkey Lords. I would love to see some AA in here because, you know, I'm always a big proponent of, yeah, you have a lot of firepower on the ground, but you know, you have Corsairs coming in. The Monkey has some AA, and I say some because it's not a lot. It can deal with a couple of bombers or a couple of things once in a while, but in terms of long battles where you have a bunch of T1 bombers or whatever the case may be, it's not the best scenario. You either want flak or you want, you know, T3 AA. Of course, we do see a crab on its way. So these bricks, their main job is to hold this position long enough for that crab to push forward. We do see pings going down for Team 2, I would imagine. And there we see the monkeys are given the order to start retreating. One monkey does get taken out by those bricks. The second monkey needs to get out of there. We have strikers trying to just bog up their attack orders. They are focusing on the heavier T3 bricks first. They take out the AA as well. So it does allow those bricks to focus on other things. That crab is coming ever so slowly more and more closer to that front line. Team 2 is fighting very well here on the eastern side, keeping these units at bay, except there is a chicken. And if you saw yesterday's video, chickens are lightning fried chicken. That's all I gotta say about that game. Chickens. That match was very interesting. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and check it out. It does not end the way I thought it was gonna end. So, you know, if the caster doesn't think it's gonna end one way, how do you think you guys are gonna like it to be like, ooh, that might be a good match to watch? I haven't watched it. And for those who have watched it, go back and watch it again. Why not? It's always fun to just put a game of FAF on, listen to commentary, you know, laugh at some of the dad jokes or, you know, deadpan jokes that I give, and gonna have a good time hanging out. We're approaching 27 minutes in this game. The Eco's, again, still favoring Team 2 by a decent margin, almost at 300 mass per second, actually almost 400 for a minute. That chicken is starting to move in the southern section of the map, but it's by itself, though. There is a lot of Ilshi support. That's better than nothing. We do see a nice fire base here, a couple of artillery, PD. The Percys are more important, though, because they have that high alpha strike damage. You need that when you take out experimentals. And that's why I feel like Percys, in terms of large numbers, are the... Well, I mean, anything in large numbers is good. But in terms of damage-wise, Percys are probably the best to take out experimentals just because of the amount of damage they do in the first shot. Because usually you don't have a Colossus come and it grabs it, crushes it. You have, of course, chickens. They do a lot of damage. You have Monkey Lords, crabs. All of their damage is immediate all the time. And you have like bricks and harbingers and Othams, and those guys, they're more rapid fire, so each shot isn't important. It's the overall fire rate that's important. And so when you have a unit that can't do as much damage as, let's say, a Percy does in its first shot, then it's not the best scenario where you send a bunch of T3 units in, and yeah, maybe they'll kill one of the, let's say, the 3 experimentals that's coming at you, but you know, you want to get that damage done. That's the most important thing, is you want to kill it, and you need damage to do that. You can't just be like, oh, I'll just throw on 1,000 Cerberus and maybe it'll kill it. Cerberus might kill it, but you know, that's again saying there's 1,000 of them. This is an interesting play. We have a couple of sniper bots just running around this northeastern side. We have a Colossus coming in to support them, which there's really nothing here, so Team 2 can just push right on through, no problems. In the south, we saw that chicken just jostling, just running around down there. We have some of these Corsairs over the top going after these bricks here. They went after the western side of the middle instead of the middle section of the middle. The crab, I think, actually has a decent amount of range on it to be able to hit. Does be able to hit the red, so it could actually shoot across the little chasm here. There is a monkey lord that was just finished, so... You know, and as I was talking about, the bricks, they're again designed for rapid fire, same with Harbingers and Authams. Perseus are the only really unique unit. This Monkey Lord isn't in range, unfortunately. These bricks are getting free damage on it, for the most part. Needs to move in for its bigger cannon. There's even another Monkey Lord behind it, so need to, there you go. I was like, BRS, you gotta move that monkey just a little bit. Crab is roaming the middle of the map now, trying to do what it can to just push the front line for Team 1. They need to reestablish some sort of beachhead. We have, you know, Colossus running on them around the map for the eastern player of Boxeroo. Team 2's air grid being nice and plump here. We even see the comm of Steak just going to hide back here with some PD. I don't blame him there. He wants to protect his comm, and just in case there's a blitz play on the southern side, he doesn't want to be caught unawares. Nuke has been completed here for him as well, so we'll see a nuke launch here very soon. Does Team 1 know about it? That's the most important thing. Do they know about it? They don't. Well, no, it'd be right. Was it right here? It's right here. So they don't know about it for now. But I wouldn't be surprised if they found out very soon. In the north, is there any kind of juicy plays going on? There is a nuke for Team 1, and it's almost loaded. So we have Alfie with a nuke that's almost done, and we have Steak with a nuke that was just completed, not finished loading. And there's no SMD that I can tell. Well, there's one over here to the east. It isn't loaded yet, so essentially there's a free shot for Team 1. They only get the one shot, so they got to make it count. He is a 1500 rated player. He'll probably either go for the air grid if they knew where the nuke was, or if they knew there was a nuke, they would target that. Or he'll probably try to go after the highest rated player, which is also Psycho. So there's essentially, I mean, there's arguments for 4 different targets. Synth, I mean, he's not doing as much as everyone else in terms of, you know, how much mass he has per second, how much, you know, all of that. But he is contributing a lot. He's holding off the middle, trying to slow it down as much as he can, which is very admirable. We have Psycho Ad trying to hold this position here. He's being assailed by some trebuchets. So, you know, everybody has their role to play. He's playing more of a support role, but, you know, support can be almost the most important play. Sometimes we have a missile coming in. Wait, what was that? Where? I don't know where that came from. Where did that come from? I don't know. But we have in the northeast, the Colossus still pushing. Its laser cannon color is changed because of the white background. And that nuke should be launching here pretty soon. Of course, we have full vision, full knowledge, full everything. There is the completion of the nuke. And is it going to launch immediately? It launches immediately. And where is it going? It's going for Boxeroo, going straight onto that T3 land facility. This is not done. We have Boxeroo on an upgrade. We have a bunch of engineers going to come and assist this SMD, but I don't think he's going to move. He needs to move now in order to get out of there. Not loaded, says Omni. His is not loaded, so this position, you know, is not at risk, but, you know, it's good to know that it isn't loaded, at least from a caster's perspective. This nuke down here will probably get even more support with the launch of Team 1's first nuke. Did they know about it is the question. I would assume so. Yeah, they did know about it, so, you know, that is the case. Boxeroo is not going to move. We'll see the elimination of the second highest rated player in the game due to the nuclear waste and hellfire. There it goes. Kaboom. We have the prettiest nuke in the game. The Seraphim nuke takes out Boxeroo at 32 minutes and 30 seconds. It's now a 4v4. They take out the core mass for his base as well, so he's essentially neutered that. Well, it isn't neutered, but he's severely reduced the effectiveness of taking that over, of course, because he has to go back, rebuild everything, all that stuff. Of course, we have this southern section of the map still has really no, you know, efforts to go one way or the other. A lot of T3 units and a T4 unit in the form of a chicken. Of course, we have the second chicken almost completed, and the nuke is over half loaded. So this would be a great grab by Team 1 if they can take this out. But with 2 chickens essentially and a bunch of T3, it's going to be very difficult. don't think that front line here for Team 1 is going anywhere, in their direction anytime soon, so they're going to fall back. They're fighting over a couple of mexes, which at this point, I feel like a lot of our players are going to be focusing on gating, comms in with RAS comms. We can see a Duke started here for Team 2's player. Omnihaven, he's built a nice defensive position here, a bunch of shields, PD, and just going to sit his comm there and be like, it's going to sit there. I don't have to worry about it. And I feel like high rated players, we can see that multiple players on Team 2 have done that. They're like, well, I'll just put my comm in this position. I know where it is. I'll shield it and then call it good, focus on other things. Because the last thing you want to do is forget where your comm is and then have it die and then you're out of the game. So I see that being a trend with higher rated players. So just a reminder from myself, of course, and everyone else that, you can just sit your comm somewhere. You don't have to use it constantly. It can just not be used. And you can be like, oh, I want to build a RAS upgrade on it, and then just park it somewhere. That's probably be my bet. We see a chicken going to be able to take out this Galactic Colossus. There is another one on the front lines. This Omni is going to go down. I have more DPS than a T3 mix. I don't know what that naming mod's about, but something about those T2 and those T2 defenses for some reason the naming mod is on for Moon-wise. Of course, he's just having fun with it. Sniper bot's trying to hold off that advance, but, they're very weak and that experimental. Oh, it's taking a lot of damage from that Ion Storm, though. Almost below half its hit points. That's got a singe. Nuke will launch, and it'll launch on the front line, which, to be fair, it isn't a bad placement. Taking out that large group of land units. It does allow Stake to push with his forces. It does, of course, know that Team 1 will be... Oh, they're using a nuke on land forces. Oh, that'll be fun to deal with later. Another Seraphim nuke to watch. Very pretty. There it goes. Kaboom. Takes out a horde of Perseus. Some of those stay online. That FAF board does get out of range. I think, no, it didn't take any shield damage, and that will, of course, embolden Stake's forces to push forward. They have to wade through some artillery fire, but with two chickens, and a bunch of Authams, and we have some Ilshis in there, and some lightning tanks, too. That's going to be a huge issue for Team 1's player, Desert Wolf. We have Fat Boy in the middle here for Synth in the middle, trying to push back that front line. Of course, cause that Megalith to either sit there and just take it or push it back even more and more. We can see that BRS is getting into the air game, at least with T2 Corsairs for that bomber rush capability. Another nuke, I think, is being pumped out, and will he launch it? No, he will not launch it right away. And in terms of where I would position if I had full vision, taking out the nuke would be good, but there is an SMD there. There's an SMD that's there. That's loaded. This SMD is, of course, loaded. So essentially everything is protected, so I would save the nuke. And he's going to put it at this position that has no nuke and is the experimental producing facility here for Psycho Ed. That's a great nuke. At least if he delays the production of experimentals, it's better than nothing. Better than wasting his nuke. But this Fat Boy will die at some point due to the fact that there are two chickens and a bunch of support. We have a strap bomber being shot down from the skies here from Team 2. Actually, the strap bomber was from Team 2 by Team 1. And one chicken has died. Those Perseus need to move or they are going to be fried alive by that Ion Storm. Fat Boy does go down. He should have kept pushing it back northward. I do get wanting to keep it on the front line, but against chicken fire, it really doesn't do a whole lot. Nice artillery base, trying to do something here in the middle of the map. Use that depression to his advantage with staying out of range for this chicken. And the Perseus, again, dealing a lot of damage and constantly firing into that chassis. He does have 2 ranks of veterancy, and those hit points are falling very quickly, of course. But, of course, those Perseus only have so much health. So many shots can be fired at a time. 12,000. Will they take out the chicken? It's going to be close. There is a couple of PD in range. 1,000 hit points left. There it goes. The chicken is down. Both experimentals for Stake have fallen. There is a third one on its way. Does the player Desert Wolf have anything in the clip? He does have a satellite. That's probably busy going after something else. Of course, the nuke does land. Kaboom. Takes out all of that stuff. Couple of experimentals did fall on this western side. Fat Boy still being annoying here. Megalith is taking a lot of undue fire, but there's another Fat Boy coming up the middle. So Synth being the long-range artillery focus that, of course, UEF are just known for with mobile artillery units of Fat Boys. So, I would like to see some units being built, but we have strat bombers on the way targeting these megalith, which, you know, it's not a bad idea to use strat bombers against experimentals. It's just, it's such a, you know, a lot of investment for strat bombers. I mean, I feel that's why a lot of players just use the Team 1 bomber rush. I mean, now there's an air fight, so at least they provoke that. I think it will side with Team 2's Omnihaven, but oh, those turns were not great. It's going back and forth. That's a nice turn here for Alfie, and he's going to run back. Some of them are going to run back home, try to get in behind those ASFs. These ones, oh, a lot of them died unnecessarily, not unnecessarily, but without any really, you know, damage on those enemy ASFs. And here they come. Looks like they're going to get most of them. Some of those missiles are coming in all the time. ASFs do slow down. They turn, and there they go. Team 1 essentially has air control. Apologies for my dog barking in the background if you can hear it. Something's going on at the front door, most likely. Probably somebody delivering a package, most likely from Amazon. We have, of course, 2 crabs facing off against this forward base here for BRS. We have a Monkey Lord trying to do what he can to hold off this push. Corsairs coming in now that they have air control. Do they have dominance? Mostly. It's close. There are a decent group of ASFs still built by Team 2's Omnihaven to do some sort of damage. But the crabs have come in. They're coming in single file, though. It's not the best engagement to fight off these incoming, you know, long-range units here. But we have more Corsairs coming in all the time. These crabs need to spread out for Team 1's BRS a little bit. There is a Monkey Lord. That should be thrown in immediately. Try to distract at least either the bricks or something else. One crab does fall. It does look like this crab is having a hard time trying to get a line of sight on this crab here for Psycho Ad. But now it's 3v1. All of them are firing. The bricks are coming in as well. That crab will fall and we'll have to retreat, but unfortunately it's not going to get out of range. It's, you know, backwards walking speed is slower than its forward walking speed, and it does fall. Team 2 has done a great job. Stake specifically, of course, has pushed all the way almost close to the main base here, where Desert Wolf and his satellite facility is starting to be under threat here. It does have that, of course, that third chicken. Satellite's trying to do what it can to hold off this push. A lot of those T3 units have died. It's just T2 and some lightning tanks. There's still some T3 tanks, but it's really just the Ilshis and that chicken. At least Team 1 here in the east have made some progress taking out this, you know, facility to the east. They've taken both sides of the lake here in the middle, and so now they even have their own chicken trying to just hold position here. Team 2 is really suffering to get something going. Of course, their main facility was taken up by that nuke and the, you know, the departure of Boxer Roo early on. We have one Colossus. We have more being produced all the time. That's going to add a nice amount of DPS, but it does look like Team 1's player Millwise will start to do a pincer maneuver incoming from the north and the west at the same time. Oh, and it does look like the Colossus will turn around and go home, or at least intercept those forces coming in from the west. More and more Ravagers, more and more PD trying to be built up here for the player not BRS, excuse me, for Desert Wolf. And that chicken getting very close to that shield. And it'll stop very briefly, very bad. It needs to keep moving. The shield emitters are, one of them is going to go down. But these units are not pushing in. These units need to push in. I know they're waiting. Oh, I guess they are waiting for another chicken, to be fair. So, and they have some Noth that's coming in for assist. Where is Team 1's air? This, you know, nice group of units in the middle here for Synth starting to be, you know, more and more annoying here for Team 1. We have a crab versus a crab. This crab very wounded. This crab not so much, so that crab will win. Seeing lots of crabs in the sentence. But those units here for Stake are retreating in the face of this, you know, PD that's been built up. And that's not that great because, yeah, I know they're running away from the Ion Storm, but they need to come and support their chicken brethren, because unfortunately, you know, it would have been enough to push this position had those additional units come in. We even have some Percy's trying to stand in the way. That chicken is getting awfully close. The central shield is now down. They're targeting the PD, not the PD, the shields. The Ion Storm does land pretty close to those P-Gens, so that satellite is kind of under threat. Those P-Gens do go down. And will that Ion Storm kill off anything else on that base? I think it might kill off the headquarters. Yeah, I think it... No, it will kill off the headquarters. Are there any shields? Ion Storm gets underneath the shield, takes out the emitter. Oh, that's a nice stroke of luck there. Satellite is still on the line. Oh, nope, there it goes. The pigeons go off and actually takes out the station. That's a great luck, stroke of luck there for Steak. And then comes a nuke in from him as well, just to cement the fact that, look, I killed it. It's dead. Doesn't matter if the Iron Storm got it or not. I killed it. It's gone. Nothing's going to be there left. Essentially, Desert Wolf has been kicked out of this game for the time being. It's now... I mean, he's still in the game, but in terms of being like an active role, it's essentially a 4v3 in favor of Team 2. Of course, 3 of the comms for Team 2 are hiding in the southeast section. We have artillery landing on that airbase. Where is that coming from? It looks like it's T3. So it's probably from... Oh, look, it's here. It's coming out from the pink player of Alfie. He's building another one as we speak after he builds, again, some more shielding. Walls have been erected to try to protect it, but of course, those Fat Boys are kind of a threat to those artillery. And it looks like... Are they targeting it directly? Do we... No. That is what's happening. They are sitting right out of the minimum range. Oh, that's gotta hurt. You're getting shot at by T3 artillery. How does that feel? That Team 2's player Synth, his Fat Boys are actually being targeted by artillery. T3 at that mine. That shows how deadly these Fat Boys could be. That artillery is focusing it, but it probably was just, giving some time for those crabs to come in. Those crabs take out the first 2 Fat Boys. There's a third one coming online on the front line, but it needs to get better positioning here. I feel like there's another one firing, and I just don't see it. No, there's a nuke back here. Mass Fab's back there. Our Watcher coming online. Love to see that. We have some gating in of Rascoms. Looks like there was some sort of mass assassination earlier on, but Team 1 is dealing with that. This pusher by Steak is great because this whole southwestern corner is owned by them. Lots of mass for them to scoop up. Lots of mech points, of course, to claim. Team 2 has lost their air grid. They have 1 Duke online, which is, better than nothing, of course. Nukes are being launched by Team 1 and... No, it's just by Team 1. This nuke launcher doesn't have one loaded. It doesn't have one loaded, and it's not being, assisted as much. And that nuke launcher is going for this position, taking out some forward production facilities, actually building some chickens as we speak. That chicken might not make it out of there, even if I think it does 70,000 damage, the nukes do. So that chicken doesn't move immediately. That nuke's going to kill it, and that's not going to feel good. You had all that mass. This nuke over here to the east does land, takes out some more mass. Does clear the way a little bit for the incoming forces for Millenwise, avoiding this nice PD base of Ravagers. This is Sparta. Oh, yeah, 1,000 flames in the east here for Omnihaven. There goes that nuke. It lands, takes out that chicken, and kills another unit running along in its wake. That's, it sucks for Steak to lose that, but he still has all of these forces that's pushing this, western line, and it's still going. It's not stopping anytime soon. Team 1 needs to devote more resources to this position. Of course, I think we're seeing some artillery wars at some point. The shields are down around that Duke, and looks like Steak almost takes one to the face. We even have a satellite online for Omnihaven, so both UEF players in this game, at least on both sides of things, have some, long range, not able to be targeted weaponry. Washer trying to do what it can, takes out the first line of units here, but there's 3 chickens to the west. Crabs need to be diverted from the front line. There's more crabs coming in from the midwest. 1 crab here. We have the comm of BRS on the front lines. He needs to get out of there. Another bomb will drop. The initial bomb lands, and then it will explode. There it goes. Nice positioning. Takes out a huge chunk of hit points. This base here for Desert Wolf is out of commission. He has been given control of the Washer to help manage the fact that he really doesn't have... He literally has nothing. He has the Washer, and that's it. That's all he has. More and more bombs landing all the time. Of course, that thing is at no veterancy yet, but it's, it's starting to get up there. But now the chickens are going to start doing, either going for that main base in the rear air guard here for Alfie, or go after BRS in the middle. We have anything and everything being thrown at those crabs in the middle coming out from Psycho Ad. A nuke is launching here from the player Steak, and where is it going? It's going for this position, opening, I think the SMD is down, so BRS really needs to get out of dodge. Artillery trying to attack the artillery here for Team 1. We have bombers over the top, constantly trying to do damage. This chicken to the right will die. This one to the middle will die here pretty shortly. That push to the north will be taken care of. But this chicken, BRS trying to run from it. He has this crab trying to do what he can, but that nuke is going to land right in the middle of that base. They got a heck of a lot of hives, heck of a lot of everything else. And the megalith will survive, but of course, at what cost? Bombers coming in. Will they do enough to hold off this push? The artillery has taken a hit. Oh, and the comm of BRS does go down to Control K. He decides the game is over for him. He really didn't have much anything left. It is now a 4v3 in favor of Team 2 officially. Of course, we talked about Desert Wolf being essentially knocked out earlier on. In that regard, it is a 4v2. Drop Bomber is going to just run over the map here. Actually, fly over the map. That Megalith holding on less than 1,000 hit points. Bombs being dropped out constantly against these experimentals. Lots of mass to be scooped up by both teams. Steak needs to get his engineers on that front line. He is doing a good job scooping everything in tow, but he has a lot ways to go. Team 1 has a lot of mass available for them on the map itself. How much? We have 452,000 mass. A lot of it essentially residing on the western side of Team 1's side of things. But you see a nice group of mass here to the east from those attacks incoming from Melonwise. But those two artillery are still online. They're still trying to take out that Duke. The Duke has no shield. It is named Alpha. Maybe there's one going to name Bravo here pretty soon. The satellite has been taken out, but the artillery is not. The air grid trying to stay online, trying to be rebuilt. Boxer Rouse, sorry, I want to say Boxer Rock, but Boxer Roos has built kennels here. Does look like that is needs some more assistance. Awash are going to take out a nice group of Percys. There they go. Kaboom! Takes out almost all of them except one. That was a huge amount of mass. There's another Awasher for Team 1, and they'll take out the rest of those. Will it land close enough? No, it will not. But that Awasher has 122,000 mass killed, and now it's going to go for this Ravager position here. Team 1 wanting to clear out all outlying defenses and essentially encircle Team 2 as best they can. We have a couple of crabs. They go in and go, oh, there's a FAF point. Probably shouldn't go after that. With that, Awasher taking serious amounts of damage from AA, trying to target these crabs out from Psycho Ad. I heard another Awasher does land here to the east, and it's just still online. 155,000. Awasher now under the control, both of them now under the control of Desert Wolf. That bomb does not land. Oh, that's gotta suck. That bomber's almost down. Has hardly any mass killed. Makes me. Are we missing another one? Well, I guess not. There goes the bomb. Lands on the shield just at the right time. The shield comes back online, protects this PD emplacement, and these this Awasher not looking good. And it's going to land in that base. It's not going to feel good. There it goes. All that mass is just going to land. Takes out some defenses. Will take out some of its own mass due to the bomb. You know, you can shoot mass, reclaim, and it will essentially lose its value. There it goes. The artillery comes in, takes out the Duke here for Team 2's Omnihaven. And it looks like Team 1's trying to fight back. But, of course, we have 3 Monkey Lords coming in from Psychoad. This position is gone. It is not going to last very long. It has been a flip-flop game here in this turn of events. You know, Team 1 gets an advantage, Team 2 gets an advantage, Team 1 gets an advantage. It is not in, one-sided affair here. Awash is being chased by a couple of ASFs. Won't do a whole lot. Team 1's Alfie will launch another nuke. Team 2's Nick will just launch a second nuke at some point. Oh, hopefully he doesn't waste that nuke going for that mass for those artillery. And, oh, maybe not. Looks like it's changed targets. Awash is being brought back to base to help defend against Monkey Lords. There it goes. Taking out those Monkey Lords. Not a lot of mass. Not a lot of hit points were gone off those. Another Monkey Lord here for Psycho. And just using the cheapness of the Monkey Lords to just constantly annoy. Nuke launching here by Team 2. This position Oh, the SMD was not loaded, or at least it was unloaded from other ones earlier. This position will fall here for Omnihaven and Synth, who is kind of a joint base effort. This position in the north has no SMD. That's going to die, unfortunately. You know, we still have Monkey Lords ravaging the countryside here for Team 1. This Monkey Lord taking lots and lots of damage. It is able to get at least out of the main area of the blast, so some hit points are saved in that regard, but still, we have the calm of Melon-wise. You know, Undershield has gun. Trying to build out the shell this here. Surrounding PD, not the surrounding Pigeon's not the best idea. It's so useless now, says Melon-wise. I wouldn't say it's useless. The the bomb does go off. The nuke goes off, takes out a lot of infrastructure up there. I like the way it looks. I think it feels more impactful. We have SMDs being assassinated here. We have a Molecular trying to shoot at it. Doesn't really go very well due to that terrain, and it's not looking good here for Team 1. Line of these Medusa here for Psycho Ad, just spamming up whatever he can. Another nuke launching. We have the calm of Melonwise running in fear of that Monkey Lord, trying to use its own mass extractors to protect it. Lots of Team 1 bombers comes in, reduce its hit points by a decent amount. Melonwise will control K, not give the satisfaction of that Monkey Lord the kill. It doesn't even matter. I think Melonwise does get killed off by Psycho Ad. I don't think, will it tell me? It will not tell me because he was classified as control K. So now it's a 4v2 here. Nuke will come over the top. There is no protection here. That airbase is gone. And the calm of Alfie is just going to walk into it a little bit. In the center of it, kaboom, takes everything out. Team 1 doesn't really have anything left on the cards. It's all in the hands of Alfie. Desert Wolf is left to his own devices at 7 mass a second. I think, how did he build? Is he getting his extra mass? Oh, maybe he's reclaiming. Nice comeback, says Psycho Ed. Yeah, it was a nice comeback by Team 2. Awasher trying to go in deep, trying to do what it can. It doesn't have a lot of hit points left. ASF's trying to protect it the best it can. There is an Awasher down here that took out some mass. The air grid has been decently protected, though. And it will be taken out over the skies of Omnihaven. Will land right next to that that satellite station. That's got to hurt. Team 1 really doesn't have anything left in the gas tank, though. We have chickens coming in from Stake. He's pushing up, trying to establish more lines of defense and infrastructure. Dual nuke down here in the south, so it's Team 2 really just, they came back with a vengeance and they pushed. This western side's essentially what collapsed the game, because it allowed for chickens to come in and take out this position for BRS, which then allowed Psycho Ed to come in and take everything else out in the middle. We still have a lot of infrastructure in the east for Team 1, but really there's not really a lot of big ticket items. We have another, oh, it's Trap Bomber. Another Monkey Lord coming in for this, mass fab farm. And it's just one Monkey Lord. Alfie is going to retreat in the face of it. We have some Uthashalas trying to be built, but one shield isn't going to do a whole lot. There goes one. There goes the rest of it. It is up in smoke. Desert Wolf takes a hit from that. And I think this Monkey Lord will probably get a double kill in this game. Alfie trying to get out of range. Desert Wolf's just going to accept his fate. There he goes. He's kind of out of this game in a little bit. He was microing the Awashers, but it wasn't really, that's all he really had access to. Stake MVP, says Omnihaven. I think I will agree with Omnihaven on that regard. I'll talk about it why in a minute. It's just Alfie left. It is a 4v1. Strap Bomb is coming in to assist their commander in service before they are wiped off the face of the map. Wait, that does Psychomech? Oh, he doesn't know what the comm is. He's just right here. ASFs will spot him. Okay, the Monkey Lord should be given orders to move. I think is that off? Is that Alfie trying to hide in a little depression? Well, he's trying to hide in there, but isn't really going anywhere. Monkey Lord just going to avoid him. I think I'm just going to speed this up till we see the depth of the comm. Maybe we'll see Alfie control K, because at this point it's just a survival game. It's just seeing how long he can survive. I feel like a lot of high-rated players at this point go, it's not really going my way. Even if I were to take out some frontline experimentals, mexes, whatever the case may be, even if he kills off one of two of the players, it really doesn't matter. All the mass being donated to Psycho Ad. Is he building an experimental? Nope, just more crabs. And he's building a bug as well. launch. Gonna land at this position, take everything else out there. Not really looking good. Of course, as we mentioned earlier, that's why we sped it up to +3. There goes the nuke over the top. This is just gonna hurt. A lot of the P-gens are located here. Some PD as well. There goes a crab under construction or just sitting there. Kaboom. And it does look like Alfie does control K. Steak wins. That's a very fitting title card, notification, whatever the heck you want to call it. I think Steak does deserve at least MVP, if not MUP. I mean, he's a 1200. So he's a little bit under pro status, but pretty close. Team 2 was pretty solid in general. You had Psychoad constantly pushing the middle. You had Synth supporting along the entire way. Of course, you had Boxeroo be eliminated earlier on, but he did a great job killing one of Team 1's players. If not accidentally, he still killed it. We have, essentially what happened was Team 1's Desert Wolf held this western position quite a long time. He lost his frontline army to that nuke that landed here, forced him back a little bit, and then essentially Steak just said, okay, I'm just going to keep going, and just kept going and kept going and kept going. And then once this position was out of commission, he pulled his chickens into BRS, which forced essentially the front line to a collapse here. I mean, he was already suffering attacks from Psycho Ad. Essentially just added insult to injury, took that position out. The artillery was still online for a little bit, but then more monkeys came in and wiped that out. So I feel like Steak gets the award for MUP, Most Underrated Player of the Game / MVP. Let me know down in the comments if you feel the same. At least somebody else in the game did. Let's see, what was he was Omnihaven, I think was the one that said, yeah, Steak MVP. He thought he deserved the MVP award. Omnihaven did a good job. He was very solid in air. He lost his air grid. He got it back. He had artillery and a satellite, so he was doing work there. His comm was protected. It was over here, and that's over here. So he was, sitting back, relaxing, doing what he can to support his teammates. So again, overall, everyone did a great job in general, but Steak just eked it out just a little bit more and helped just really flush out the rest of the game here for his team. Again, thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. Please like and comment down below. And, of course, hit that sub button if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I know I can get a little ranty sometimes, a little off track. But, again, thank you so much for watching to the end. And I will see all of you in the next one.